Hey everybody, it is Erin, and we are going to do a little bit of some fun revamp on a lamp. So my daughter had this cute little lampshade that went with this bottom of a lamp that the lamp itself died, it fell over, it croaked, there was no way to fix it, but the lampshade was perfectly fine. And then I happened to find another small lamp that still functions great, but I wanted to put the two together, and right now they ain't so matching. And she's not so little girl anymore. So what we are going to do is we are going to take a couple of different paints, because these are two colors that she fell in love with, and we're going to do the base of the lamp in the teal color and then the top of the lampshade in the pink. And I'm sure I have enough on here. And they're just acrylic paints. This is a Tattered Angels and this one's Martha Stewart. And then we're going to have some fun playing with flowers that we got from Petaloo, and then also some foiled paper from Rainier. But the first step is to paint. So let's speed that up. Okay, so we are on to part 2, and as my lampshade and lamp are drying, because I put 2 coats on both pieces with the pink and with the teal, I am arranging a series of flowers that I got from Petaloo. So one of the sets of flowers is this set of pink, as you can see over here, and they're all loose flowers, which means you can layer them up and do whatever you wish. And these are going to go on the lampshade and kind of surround. I'm going to lift it up real fast so it's not 100% dry, but these flowers are going to kind of go along here. And I also got a larger pack, and this pack right here, this one has, it says 50-piece assortment, but it had a whole bunch of really super giant flowers, and I think I'm going to avoid them. It also had some greens, and I think I'm going to avoid the greens because my daughter, this is for my daughter's room, she was really into she loved this color green, and she loved the purples and the blues and obviously the pink. So that's kind of the direction we're going with them. So I even pulled out all the really large flowers, these ones, because they're just going to be too big, I think. So right now what I'm doing is I am laying out all the largest flowers, and on top of that I have placed what's called the Rainier foiled paper. So I've taken 2 different colors. I've taken the blush and I've taken the fuchsia in both of the Starstruck colors, and I'm just coming in with 2 different punches. And all I'm doing, I'll show you real fast, is quickly punch, super easy to punch. And then taking that punch, and I did this other punch here in the fuchsia Starstruck. And so I've already punched a whole bunch of these out. The next step that I'm doing is I'm taking this, especially the one that looks what they call a retro flower, and I'm just kind of smushing the ends together just to get a little bit of something fun going on. And I'm creating some layered flowers. So let's create one right here. And I'm making sure that all my colors are a little different. So I am taking the blue here, and some of them have glitter on them and some of them don't. I'm then taking the Rainier flower, placing that there. And then I think I'm going to take another little flower and placing, or maybe I'll flip-flop it and put the Rainier flower at the very top. And just kind of doing that. And smash it. I'm not looking for perfection here. Sorry if my kids are a little loud. We are in the midst of Hurricane Harvey right now, and it's a little bit crazy in my house because, you know, hurricane. I'm actually going to try a smaller punch. This is the same shape of flower, but in a smaller size, because the smallest flower I actually have, these pink ones here, are about the same size as there. So I'm going to, not every flower is going to be identical. I think I'm going to place this here, and I'm going to go for the smaller flower, and it's going to go in the center. And one of the easiest things to do is just take the back of a pen or a pencil, or the back side of your paintbrush or something, and you just push, well, this one's being a little stubborn, and you just push it in. And it's as simple as that. Now, not every flower, actually most of the flowers, I take that back, are probably going to have pink on pink on pink. So another variation, and then you just glue the whole thing. Actually, let me do that. I'm going to glue one for you right now. You take a large flower, and if you notice, I have 2 variations of larger flowers. I have the one that looks like it's got many petals, and then I also have this one that looks like it's got 5, and I'm going to alternate between the 2. So add some glue to this here. Let's put your first layer down. And then I'm going to do the first pink layer and glue it down. And just a good tacky glue is all you need. I'm happy to be using Helmar this time. And the flowers came from Petaloo, and it's just a matter of layering it all up. I think I got a little bit of got left. Oh, there it goes. Just needed to get it going. And then now I'm going to take my Renia foiled flower, kind of open it up and get it to be a little smashed down. Layer that there. And then the last little bit, and then we are going to put a center in here. Now, there were some centers, but I have nowhere near enough that came with the pack. And since I'm probably going to be doing about 12 different flowers here, I want them to at least have somewhat of a similar center. So we'll come back and do the centers a little bit. And then just put this guy in here, probably just a small pearl or something. So they're all similar. And there's one of our first flowers. Now I'm going to come in and let's do one of these guys. So I start with the purple base. And let's layer it in with one of the other fun colors here. And then I'm going to take a pink. Let's go with this pink. And there might be some leftover flowers. I don't think I'm going to use them all up. This pink right here. Now I'm going to come in with this. And again, I'm just going to kind of smash it up a little bit. And this is the fuchsia and the other flower. I call the pointed flower versus the rounded flower punch that I have. And also make sure that you misalign your flowers, kind of off center them a little bit. Push this in, gives them each a little bit of something to kind of work around. And I also like doing this on the craft mat because sometimes there's little holes inside these flowers. And then we are going to, since I don't have a smaller version of that punch, I only have a small version of this one, coming in punch. You could also come in and die cut these as well, and then just do the same to give it a nice small center. I could also, that's a thought, is I could alternate these. So I could, just to give them, I think I would like an idea, put the other color flower in the middle here and the darker color flower. So this would be fuchsia then blush, and this is blush then fuchsia, just to kind of change it up a little bit. A little variety, something different. And so every flower is going to end, they're all going to have 1, 2, 3 layers of what I would call the silk flowers, and then 2 layers of the Renia foiled punched flowers. And so this is just 2 versions of similar, all same color tones, and I'm going to keep on decorating all these up and we'll come back in a minute. All the flowers are done now, and what I've done is I pulled out some pretty fun little gems, and I actually like both colors, but I think I might reserve these ones for another part of what we're going to do. So I'm going to take the pinks, and just to be on the safe side, I know they have kind of a backing on them. I am going to add just a tiny bit more, if I can undo my glue, of adhesive to the back of each of my little gems, just to give them a pretty little center. And so it's barely going to nestle in with that insert and that smallest little flower. And just making sure it's in there, it's going to tie it all together, give it a fun little center, kind of reform up the flowers again. And just go ahead and do that for, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 flowers like I thought. And I easily have at least 12 of these gems with a couple left over. So I'm going to go ahead and put the centers in all of them. All right, so I have these beautiful crystals, and I thought I'd keep the bottom fairly plain, and they're just all these really swirls and cool things, and I thought I would just kind of layer them around here to see what I can fit. So now that this is completely dry, I put 2 coats on to give it a really good base coat and just make sure that it was completely covered. 1 coat did an amazing job, but I did 2 just to be on the safe side. You do want to be careful when you're pulling them off. Let's start with this guy here. Number 1, not to rip the little pearl crystals off. But 2, because you don't want to yank it apart. So on the back side of this, it is already adhesive, it is already sticky, but like I said, it's not new, and I don't want to lose its integrity and have it fall off partway through when my daughter is using her brand new lamp. So I'm just coming in here and coming into little corners here, and then as you can see, I'm just sticking it on, and it just makes it really pretty and really kind of shine and just something extra special. I can already tell I need a little something more up here. I'm gonna apply a little more adhesive, all the little corners, and look how pretty that already looks. So gorgeous. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on adding some more swirls. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try and gently lay it on, and then wherever I feel it's not sticking, add some more adhesive to the back of that. So one thing I'm doing right now is I'm taking the last piece, because 3 of them fit on beautifully, but I feel like I have a little bit of a gap here. And even though this might be the back of the lamp, I still want to make sure that every little inch is covered. So I actually took the last piece and I added an extra swirl there because there was kind of a gap there. I added a second swirl right in here, so just cut off pieces. And the last piece, which I have left, and I still have one little section, is I'm going to come into here and I'm going to add it in, somehow add it into here. Now what I might end up doing is cutting this little piece off so I can fit this guy in here, and so it rests a little bit better, and then kind of amend. So the beautiful thing about these crystals is that you can tweak them to your liking. So I just finished up the last little swirls, just took the last little pieces, add another one in here, you know, kind of added another one that was right here, added another one that coming down here, kind of filling up the gaps, and I think that looks really pretty now. So that did not take, and I could kind of pull off and put back on, and the paint on this held wonderfully. So I'm gonna clean up and let's do the top. Sorry if it's starting to get a little dark behind me and getting a little shadowy. We are in the midst of Hurricane Harvey here, and even though I'm in Austin, we are still getting swamped with some rain and actually got a rain delay for school for tomorrow. So sorry about all that if it looks a little bit off or you hear some claps of thunder or kids screaming in the background, because we're in the midst of being stuck in the house. Okay, so my plan is to take each of these, and I'm okay if it goes a little bit lower than the actual edge of the lampshade, and then just take them and start layering. And I think I'm going to try and alternate. I need to count. So I have these flowers that I would call, or they're the 5 pointers, and I believe I only have 4 of those. And then I have a whole bunch of these other ones. But I don't want to put too matchy-matchy. So if I put a purple one here, I think I'm going to start off with like a lighter color. And then I'm going to come in, let's say, with the green one here. And I'm trying to decide if I want to just overlap them. I'm thinking I like that. I'm thinking I'm just going to avoid this little piece altogether. And then just really just coat the entire bottom. And so for that, we're just going to get our glue out. And I'm just going to make sure that I don't overdo too many matchy-matchies next to each other. And go ahead and coat. Make sure this is open. Put a nice blob of glue. Come in and place the first one. And my goal is to kind of put the center right about where the center is of the flowers, just so I have a good baseline about where I'm placing them all on. And then I also don't see that edge lip too bad either, because I'm placing it on top. Go in with my next flower, and this time I'm going to actually place it onto the flower itself, because I don't want to cover up. And I think I'm going to flip this over so I can play. And I know it looks kind of gross on the inside, but nobody's ever going to see the inside. And then just come in here, place the next flower. And I'm going to let it dry upside down, because I don't want, that's why I put the flower. There's some glue on the inside. I don't want my flowers to get smashed by resting on the table. Now I'm going to come in and go, we're going to put these, so we have 1, 2, we're going to go with one of these ones now. So I think I'm going to try and do 2, and then one of what I call the 5-point flowers. And really layer them up nicely. And the beauty of this particular glue is it does have a little bit of some drying time. And so I can still shift. If I've put them too close together and I'm running out of flowers, I can always rearrange. I did measure, but just to be safe. Okay, so I misjudged, of course, and there is a little bit of a gap between some of these flowers, and I really don't want to see a gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up having to kind of tweak a little bit because they're not fully dry, but they're getting there. Is I still had some of these silk flowers left in pink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer it with the silk flower. Actually, I'm going to do the Renia foil, and then a silk flower, and then one of the smaller foils. So I'm doing fuchsia, and then a pink, and then a blush, and then finishing it off with a center. Because I have them and I have a whole bunch and there's no other colors, we're going to use this pretty center in here. So the flower is going to go like this one, and then we're going to do this one, add one of these guys in here. It's just going to be a smaller flower, and then what we're going to do is we're going to stagger that. About every second large flower, we're going to have a little flower just to give it some more volume in there. And then this kind of ties in all the colors, because now the only one we're missing is purple, but I'm fine with that. So I'm going to finish making all of these, and then I'm going to attach them onto here. So what I'm going to end up doing is kind of a little bit of some rearranging. So right here is where one of these flowers is going to go. Just gives it something a little different. So I can place one right now, just come in and pop that in there. And just gives it something a little bit different. And so I'm going to flip this back over again, finish these, and glue them on. All right, so here we go. Here is what the lampshade looks like now. We got all the pretty flowers on there. There's little bits of glue here and there, but it's starting to come off. It's still kind of getting set, and as it sets, I'm going to definitely give it overnight to fully set, but it already looks very little girly in my mind, for young girl, not baby anymore or toddler. So I have these beautiful pearls that definitely match into the color scheme. And again, I'm foofing this thing up. I'm making it a girl, glammy, beautiful. And I'm just going to go across the top here and take my pearls right along the edge here. So one of my little pearls fell off, so I just cut out another section, and I'm also just a tiny bit short, and I think I can fit 2 little pearls, and I overcut, but that's okay, off of another strip. And I'm just going to squeeze these guys in here. And so now that is done, I've attached it to my lamp, and you can see the beautifulness here. So thanks so much for stopping by and looking how you can take a baby lampshade and a completely not related lamp bottom, paint them, decorate them up, perfect for a little girl's room. And this is what my daughter picked out. So we went with her color scheme, and I think she's gonna be pretty happy. So thanks so much for stopping by and checking out my upcycled lamp decor, how to go from to fab. And all supplies are listed below, and I will see you guys again later, and please subscribe. Bye-bye.